This has been a long time coming, but we're finally here, and my staff and I couldn't be more excited. Coach Spolstra and Coach Lou, Coach Few, Sean Ford, Grant Hill, and I have been in collaboration over the last couple of months since our respective seasons ended, and we've been talking about everything in preparation for the games, and we're finally here. So we're really excited to come to Vegas in a week. Coaches will be arriving the night of July 3rd. Players will be arriving July 5th. So the staff will have a couple of days of meetings before we begin our practices with the group. So couldn't be more excited. I've been reaching out to all the guys on the team. I've had discussions with a lot of them. Everybody's excited. What's not to be excited about? Not only the Olympic Games, the incredible competition, traveling, coming to Paris, as well as our friendlies in Abu Dhabi and London. Everyone is thrilled with what's ahead. Our roster is obviously laden with stars and players who have accomplished so much. And what I love about these guys is they want to accomplish more. They want to win an Olympic gold medal, and that's why why they all signed up for this. And we're well aware of the challenge we're facing. The world of basketball has gotten so much better, so much stronger. We know how good these teams are, and we know we're going to have to be at our best. So couldn't be more excited, and we'll see a lot of you along the way. And in the meantime, let's get started today.
Great. Thanks, Coach. Let's go ahead and get started with, is it Jonty or Yanti? I'm sorry, Coleman from BBC. I apologize if I'm butchering your name.
Hi, sorry, it's Jonty, yeah. Hi, thank you very much for this. As you mentioned there, you've got the friendlies are starting off, including your trip to London. What do you think as a team you're going to get out of that experience? And also, how important is it to play, in different cultures and different environments leading up to the Olympics?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously need as many friendlies as we can play to prepare. We've got about 4 or 5 days of practice in Las Vegas. We'll play Canada there and then head to Abu Dhabi for a couple games and then on to London from there. So, this is a very unique experience. The NBA season is a marathon, and, FIBA is really more of a sprint, especially for Team USA. We generally have a different team every summer, whereas a lot of the teams that we're playing against have the continuity that comes with having a very similar roster year after year. So our strength is the depth of talent that we have in this country. But one of the many challenges that we face in FIBA is that we have generally a brand new group year after year, and we have to try to mold the team quickly. So that comes both via practice, but also I think with travel, with bonding, with the experience of flying overseas and playing in different venues, different cultures. I think our team is very excited about the 2 games in London. I've got family there, so I can't wait to play there. I think everybody's really excited about not just the Olympics, but the lead up as well.
Great, thank you.
Tim Reynolds.
Good morning, Steve.
Morning.
With Tyrese on the call, I take that as a good sign as far as how he's doing physically. Joel was at the finals and pronounced himself good to go. We haven't seen Kawhi play only but twice since the end of March. Can you kind of give an update on what he's told you as far as his availability level, and do you expect all 12 to be good to go next week?
Yeah, we expect everybody to be good to go. We've been in touch with everyone, not just those three guys. But you know, Grant and Sean have been staying on top of everything. We've been in communication constantly. So we expect all 12 guys to be ready to roll.
Zora, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, Zora Stevenson with NBC. What do you foresee the priorities being in those first few practices? I know you mentioned, new team, just kind of with the setup of the US, but yeah, what do you want to tackle first?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think what I've learned in my experience, both as an assistant coach and as a head coach with Team USA, is that it's a short period of time to try to accomplish quite a bit. And so you have to strike that balance between overloading the players, but making sure they're getting everything that they need in terms of the rules and the adjustment to the FIBA game, to playing together, to finding a groove, to finding rotations. Trying to do all that in 4 or 5 days is really difficult. So the first order of business is to ask the players to fully commit to the group, and however this plays out, it plays out. And I've found that one of the things the players really enjoy about it, frankly, is that they get to play together with guys they're used to competing against. And they're not asked to be the standard bearer for their franchise. They're not asked to be that lightning rod who takes so much of the stress. They get to do this together. So our job as a staff is to help them implement a style and a system that can help them win, but isn't too complex. We can't throw too much at them just due to the lack of practice time. And I think if we can find a way to get them into a good groove, as we go into that first game against Canada, have just a few things that they can operate and establish a defensive mindset, then I think we'll be ready to go.
Joe, go ahead.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, Joe.
With Kawhi, because obviously there was just concern throughout the NBA with him not being able to finish the first round with the Clippers. Has there been a progression with him, or was there ever a time where you guys were questioning after the announcement and sort of during his injury that he would be able to do this?
Oh, we've been monitoring this all along, Joe, and we have been in touch with Kawhi and his people, and he's been working out now the last couple of weeks. So this is obviously every roster spot is important. You just never know how these things are going to play out. With injuries, things can happen. You just don't know. So we're in touch with everybody, and we will continue to stay in touch with the whole group as we head into Vegas next week. And you never know how things play out. There's always a chance for change. I know in 21 in Tokyo, we had several changes at the last minute based on COVID. I think Bradley Beal got COVID. Kevin Love was injured. So we actually changed the roster over the last week. And so, I'd leave everything out there as a possibility based on injuries, based on, preparation, whatever it is. But at this point, we fully expect all 12 guys to be ready to go.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Davide?
Hello,
Hi.
Coach Davide from Italy here. I know many fans are trying to guess your starting five. I'm not asking you to reveal your starting five, but I'm curious about which factor will influence your decision.
It's a great question, and my staff and I have talked about it quite a bit. It's a good problem to have, but I think I'm guessing that all 12 players on this roster will be in the Hall of Fame someday. So how do you pick 5 out of 12? The idea is you find combinations that click, and you find two-way lineups that can be effective at both ends. So our big job in Las Vegas is to find five-man combinations that fit, and to just ask all 12 guys to fully commit to the goal of winning a gold medal, no matter what it looks like, no matter who's playing.
Thank you.
Mhm.
We'll go to Johannes, please, from Sport One.
Hello, Steve. This is Johannes Behm from Sport One Germany. Before you start the tournament, you will face Germany in your last friendly. What do you think of the German team around? Obviously, Dennis Schröder and the Wagner brothers, and maybe can you imagine meeting them later on in the tournament like you did in the World Cup and kind of get a revenge, if you want to say so?
Yeah, Germany has a great team. They're very well coached. They have continuity. The players have played together now for many years, and they were very tough last year, winning the gold medal in the World Cup, and so we're excited to play against them. We're very familiar with their players. Their top guys are all in the NBA. Last year, I thought they really had a good connection, a good two-way team. They played tough defense. They had good floor spacing, a lot of shooting, and they really found a good groove in the Philippines. So we know they'll be a big challenge, and they'll be one of the favorites for the gold medal.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, next we'll go to Jeff Zilgett.
Hey, Steve, hope you're doing well.
Hi, Jeff. You too.
Hello. Yep, I'm all right. I wanted to know, Steve, since your coaching staff, their seasons end at different times, and they had different postseason schedules. What does preparation look like for you and your coaching staff? The communication, just broadly speaking, how often are you speaking with them? And then, secondarily, that in terms of scouting, you necessarily don't know all your opponents. What's prep work look like for your coaching staff when it comes to, scouting?
Yeah, so we gathered in Chicago a few weeks ago for kind of a mini retreat where we talked about everything, roles on the staff, what training camp will look like in Las Vegas, actions we want to run, how we want to defend, what's going to be our main defense, what are our counters, all those things. And then since then, I've had discussions with all three of my coaches, several conversations over the last couple of weeks with each of them, talking about different things that have come up, questions that they've had. So we touch base pretty regularly. As far as scouting, we've got our first three scouts lined up. Each assistant coach will take different teams. So the first three exhibition games are all assigned at this point, and then we'll go from there as we see who wins the qualifiers and who ends up being the final teams to participate in Paris.
Mohammed, Action UAE.
Hi, Steve. How are you?
Hi.
Want to ask you about your the games in Abu Dhabi. Basically, you're playing Serbia, and Serbia is in the same group of USA in the Olympics. Will you show all your cards, and how will you play against Serbia in Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, I mean, to play against Serbia, one of the best teams in the world, right away, to see them again in Paris or in Lille, it's really exciting, and we know how good they are, and we're very familiar with some of their players, of course. So, biggest thing for us is to be us, to figure out our team in a short period of time. So I'm not worried about playing all of our cards. I'm sure we'll have some things ready no matter what happens in Abu Dhabi for the next meeting, and maybe another one after that. So our main focus is to use these games both in Abu Dhabi and in London to get better and to worry about ourselves and not so much our opponents.
Ron, go ahead.
Morning, Steve.
Morning.
I'm curious your perspective on sort of how Steph's relationship connection with LeBron has grown over the years. I mean, from NBA Finals rivals, 4 years in a row, and now it seems like they've become closer the last few years, and how that connection might help. I mean, to have guys of that accomplishment, that magnitude, collaborate together on this team, how can that sort of set the tone for the rest of the team?
Yeah, I think LeBron and Steph are really excited to play together. I've talked to both of them about this idea of being together after going against one another with such high stakes over the years. They obviously fit really well together. I think the idea of Steph playing off the ball and LeBron pushing it in transition, that's pretty intriguing, and obviously Steph will play on the ball as well, and LeBron has become such a good shooter, but they're both so good at so many different areas of the game, and I think they're really excited to compete together for the first time, and to find over the course of the practices and the friendlies to find some of the nuances that they can really exploit and explore too, just to see where they can have an impact for each other. But they're both really, really excited about the idea of competing together.
Thank you.
Yeah.
From City AM.
Hi, Steve. This is Frank Dallaros from City AM in London. There's obviously a huge amount of appetite for basketball, US basketball in London. And until 2019, we had the NBA coming over here and playing a regular season game. Since then, they've gone to Paris instead. But would you like to see the NBA come back to London soon?
I'm always up for going to London. It's a great city, and I know how much love there is for the NBA there. So it would be wonderful. I always enjoy the overseas trips. We've been to China and Japan during my time with the Warriors to play exhibition games, to train. Never played a regular season game outside of the United States, but I love the fact that the league is doing it. So hopefully at some point the Warriors will be involved.
Thanks.
Go ahead. Bruce, go ahead.
You may be muted, Bruce.
It looks like he might be a little frozen. Okay, we'll go to Oliver from Nova.
Hi, Coach.
Hi, Oliver.
What do you think about Serbian team with Jokic and other NBA players, and how challenging will it be for you to lead the team of the 12 superstars and think about tactics?
Yeah, Serbia is really good. Seeing them last year, we didn't play against them, but we saw them quite a bit. In the World Cup, Coach Pekic has done an amazing job. Without Jokic a year ago, they made the final and were really an excellent two-way team. So we know they'll be even better. Adding Jokic, who's just spectacular, an amazing player and champion, and so we are aware that they will be a huge challenge. And a lot of continuity, a lot of players who have played together over the years, and that's one of the reasons they'll be as good as they'll be. So we're excited about the matchup, and we know how good they are.
Let's go to Vincent next.
Hi, Steve. Vincent Piala from the French media Le Parisien. Thank you for this interview. I wanted to ask you about Kenny Atkinson, your former assistant on the Warriors. He will be with the French national team. What can you say about him? What, in your opinion, can he bring to the French team? And the fact he knows you, does it give him some advantage because he knows the way you coach?
Yeah. Yeah, first of all, Kenny goes and coaches for the French team, and now he goes and coaches for the Cleveland Cavaliers. You know, he's I think he's a traitor. I refer to him. If you know your American history, I call him Benedict Arnold. No, I'm obviously kidding. You know, Kenny is a great friend. We've been coaching together for 3 years. When he came to me and told me he had been invited to coach with the French team, I thought it was an amazing opportunity. And I encouraged him to do it. And we've been in touch. I know he's been in Paris a lot the last couple of weeks, and he's a great coach. That's the reason Cleveland just hired him, and I was very lucky to have him the last few years. So as for his familiarity with me, I will just, if we play France, I'll just let Coach Spolstra and Coach Lou take over, and because he's not as familiar with those guys.
All right, we will go to Dalton.
Hey, Steve. Two quick Steph questions for you. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, we know that Steph hasn't played in the Olympics yet, but it's been about a decade since I think he played in the FIBA World Cup. At this point in his career, why do you think he's such a good fit for the international game? And then also kind of putting together this team that doesn't have a lot of experience together, you know, what can you kind of lean on with Steph having spent a decade with him as far as his leadership goes?
Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking about that because I took this job exactly 10 years ago, and I remember sitting in my new office in Oakland, watching Steph and Clay on the national team in 2014, winning a gold medal in the Worlds. So it was fun to, you know, to see him. And who could have predicted that it would be another 10 years before he played for Team USA? I know how excited he is to play in his first Olympics. Let's face it, he's a great fit in any league in the world. The best shooter. He's such an easy player for others to play with. So he fits perfectly into this kind of challenge where you're trying to develop continuity quickly. So he's excited. His you know, his first Olympics, a chance to play with so many great players, and I'm excited to continue to coach him after 10 years. I know he will make my job easier because you know, he'll talk to the other guys about some of my tendencies and what I'm looking for, and so it's very helpful to have him on this roster.
Thanks, Steve. Good to see you.
You too.
We'll do a couple more here and then let Coach go. Next, we will go over to Morrow, please, from Sky.
Hi, Coach. Nice to meet you. Legendary Serbian coach Zvezdan Pezic recently said that this team has to be considered better than the 1992 NBA Dream Team. I'm sure you want to win a gold medal before even starting the debate, but I'm curious to know your thoughts because I think the comparison can be made starting from the veteran group like MJ, Magic and Bird back then, and LeBron, Steph, and KD today.
Yeah, I think from the standpoint of career achievement, this team is probably, you know, as decorated as any since the 92 Dream Team. The difference is in 1992, the world wasn't anywhere close to as good as it is now in terms of basketball popularity, just globalization of the game. Obviously, Serbia and Croatia had been separated at that time, and so you know, prior to that, you know, Yugoslavia would have been the biggest challenge for the 92 team. So then all those players were separated. The Soviet Union was broken apart. Chuck Daly, the coach of the 92 team, never took a timeout. That team was never threatened. So the difference is that, yes, we have a star-studded team filled with Hall of Famers, but we have an altogether different challenge with great teams like Serbia and France and Germany and others, Spain. I mean, there's challenges across the board, assuming Spain qualifies. And I'm leaving out others. There's great teams all over the place, and nothing is guaranteed at this point for USA basketball. We know that well. I know it personally. We won the gold medal in Tokyo, but we lost 3 games along the way. Our gold medal game against France went right down to the wire. So this is an entirely different competition than it was in 1992.
Thank you.
I'll let Coach go. Camille, go ahead.
Hi, this is Camille from the Filipino Times, and we're very excited for you to come here and your team to play in Abu Dhabi. So the Filipinos are very passionate basketball fans, you know. And my question is, for the Filipinos, how have you experienced their support during these competitions? And if you have any message to the Filipino community here in the UAE?
Yeah, we thoroughly enjoyed our experience in Manila last summer. It was just incredible to see the passion of the fans, to see the looks on their faces when they were able to get a glimpse of our players, walking around the city or in the arena. Obviously, the results of the competition didn't go our way, but that didn't take away from the incredible experience we had enjoying the Filipino culture and meeting the Filipino people. So we're excited to get back at it this year. And to all of our fans in the Philippines, thank you so much for supporting the NBA, for watching our players, and for the reception that we received a year ago.